Hey everyone, I hope everybody is doing well. As you can see, I got a new hat. Thank you so much for noticing. I apologize, I know I haven't made a video in the last month. School just recently started back up, and I'm just trying to get back into the swing of the whole thing. Between my internship, school, and other commitments I have, I've just had a lot on my plate. Right now I'm trying to work on a schedule so I can fit in these whole YouTube videos in my schedule, so hopefully that will help. It probably won't, honestly. But in today's video, I kind of just wanted to talk about this past month and what it's kind of been like doing college from home, because as you can see, I'm home right now. But for those of you who don't know, I attend Loyola University Chicago. And Loyola decided that it was going to do classes all online. And because of this, I am taking all of my classes from my parents' basement. And I'm not saying this whole parents' basement thing as like a joke, like haha, he lives in his parents' basement. Like I actually take my classes there because it's like the quietest place in the whole house. And the thing is that a lot of people at my school are still living in Chicago even though all the classes are online. Whether they managed to find an apartment or they already signed a lease before all the classes were moved online, there's a considerable amount of people in Chicago who go to my school. And after my school kicked me off of my on-campus housing due to COVID, I was this close to doing the same thing as everyone else. This close. I was really thinking to myself, I was like, man, I really want to be in Chicago. Maybe I should just go get an apartment. But then a realization hit me. And this realization was that I don't really have many friends in Chicago, and there really wouldn't be much for me to do. So essentially, I would be paying, let's say, $1,000 a month just to be in an unfurnished apartment with like no human contact. And at that point, I knew that if I was going to move back to Chicago, I would probably just be miserable. There's a lot of people at my school who are back in Chicago right now and they have roommates. And I feel like if I had a roommate, I would be more likely to do that. Not only do you split the cost, but you're also living with someone, which I think is probably really beneficial during a global pandemic. Because when you're supposed to spend a lot of your time at home, it probably helps to have someone else who's going through the same thing you are. And so you can kind of have that human interaction. And for me, I wouldn't have that human interaction because I couldn't find anyone who wanted to room with me because, as I mentioned, I don't really have a lot of friends at my school. So I understand for some people it made a lot of sense to get an apartment and do all that stuff, but for me in my situation, it really didn't make a lot of sense. But my first week of classes from home, I was really depressed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was just really bummed out and I felt like kind of defeated by my circumstances, if I'm being honest with you. I was seeing pictures of everyone from my school back in Chicago having fun, being with their roommates, going out in the city, doing all that stuff, and I was just kind of bummed. I really had this whole fear of missing out thing. I had to delete Instagram from my phone because, you know, I was seeing all these people have fun and I was just stuck in my home. So that's why I was this close to buying an apartment, because I just had this fear of missing out and this anxiety, and I was like, man, everyone's gonna have this experience and I'm not gonna have it. So that's why I was so close to buying an apartment. But after the first week of online classes, I kind of came to terms with everything. Right now I'm in a position where I feel so much better about my circumstances. I really thought I would be kind of upset and depressed the entire semester, but I managed to get over it after like a week. I think all I really needed was a week. And recently I've been talking to a lot of my friends from high school. All of them are back at their colleges because all of their colleges are back on campus. But just getting on phone calls with them and talking to them, it's just made me feel a lot better because, you know, I feel like I'm less lonely when I'm talking to people. So that's what I would recommend to anyone, whether you're back at college or not, or wherever you are. If you're ever feeling kind of isolated because of this whole quarantine thing, talking to friends, even if it's over the phone, can really do a lot. Classes have also been going fine for the most part. I have 2 classes that meet over Zoom twice a week. These are kind of your more traditional classes. You know, the professor does a lecture, you take notes, and then do an assignment. It's kind of as traditional you can get despite it being online. I even took an online test for one of these classes, which I thought was going to be a walk in the park. The professor said it was open book, so I was like, okay, this is an open book test. It's going to be really easy. All I have to do is take the test and look up the answers in the book. This is going to be a breeze. But what turned out to be difficult was that the test was 50 multiple choice questions. All the answers were in the book, so I was like scrolling through the book for an hour and a half trying to find all the answers. And by the time I submitted it, I just barely turned the test in on time. Now looking back on it, what I should have done is read over the book before taking the test, because then I would have kind of had the knowledge in my head. But instead I was kind of being arrogant. Now I did manage to get an A on the test, but I did learn a pretty valuable lesson. And that lesson is that even if something is open book, doesn't mean that you should shouldn't study for it. Like, you should probably study. So there's your college tip for the day. I'm sure most of you already knew that by now, but if you didn't, there you go. I also have 2 classes that are just pre-recorded lectures. Like, we don't have any specific meeting time. I think the word for that is asynchronous. I think that's how you say it. Basically, the way it works is that each week the professors will upload a video lecture. At any point during the week, we have to watch that video lecture, and then usually there's some quiz or assignment that goes along with the video lecture. And I tend to prefer these kind of classes the most. Like, I think these are probably my favorite. The reason is because it's kind of like at your own pace. Like, you don't have to meet at a specific time. You can kind of do it whenever you have the time to do so, which is really convenient when you're me and you have a lot of stuff going on and you can't always make time for certain things. Now, the downside to this is that this can lead to procrastination. Like, keep in mind, this work is meant to be done like over a week. Like, it's a week's worth of homework. And sometimes I'll be so busy or I procrastinate things and then I wait up until the last day to do work that should be done over a week, but I do it on the last day. And at that point, I'm kind of rushing it. And now after doing this for a month, I kind of got the hang of things. I'm able to get ahead of my assignments rather than be behind. And I do have another class that's asynchronous, but it's a little bit different. Basically, the way that this class works is that each week the professor will like throw up some readings. We got to do the readings and then we got to write about them. The problem is that there's no like lecture element to it. There's no live lecture. There's no pre-recorded lecture. It's just a bunch of text. And I have no problem with the professor or the course material. I just think like that whole class format in general is not like the best style for someone like me. I really benefit from in-person lectures or even just video lectures in general because the professor is explaining that stuff and it just kind of resonates with me more. Like, I'm able to retain the information more, if that makes sense. So yeah, all my classes are going well for the most part. I finished my 4th week so far and there haven't been any big assignments yet that I know of. Hopefully I didn't miss any. I'm not failing any classes, which is always great. That's always good. My mom will love to hear that. I also have an internship now, and you're probably thinking, oh, with your class schedule, you probably have a lot of time, you probably have a lot of free time. But whenever I don't have homework or a class to attend, I usually have work to do for my internship. And I'm not complaining by any means. I signed up to do an internship because I wanted to be occupied. I knew during this whole pandemic thing, I would have a lot of free time, and I kind of wanted to eliminate that, if that makes sense. On top of that, obviously, I also wanted to learn stuff and gain some more experience because I've never had an internship before. But a big reason for it was I wanted to eliminate that downtime. Right now for my internship, I kind of help run the company's YouTube channel among other kind of tasks that they give me to do throughout the week. And one thing that I've learned is that it's so much more different to run your own personal channel than someone else's YouTube channel. Because when I'm running my own YouTube channel, I call the shots, I make all the decisions go through me. But when I'm running something for a company, I don't always call those shots, and there's like a process you have to go through to get social media content published. And I've enjoyed it so far. I've learned a lot. I've had a good time. Everyone's really friendly, and so far things are going pretty well. And on top of the internship, I'm also now the is that my title? I'm now the co-executive producer of the Rambler Sports Locker. This is basically a student-run sports broadcasting show, which is usually done on campus in the studio, but since we're not in person, we're doing everything online right now. And that just started up, and already, there's a lot of stuff going on with that. One thing that I've realized is that being a leader is something that kind of makes me uncomfortable. I'm not saying that I'm not capable of being a leader, but I feel like I'm always so used to being told, and now I'm kind of put in a leadership position, and I feel like I need to do a much better job of trying to be a leader, if that makes sense, which can be uncomfortable sometimes because I'm really used to kind of just taking directions, and now I'm kind of at a point where I'm calling the shots and people are coming to me and reporting to me, which can really be a lot. It's definitely uncomfortable so far, but I think I'm kind of getting used to that. But right now I have so many tasks and things going on. My worry right now is I'm not able to give 100% to everything that I do. Like, when you have so many things, you feel like, oh, I can't give all of my time and energy into that one thing. I have to spread it out among these several things that I'm doing. And I think right now things are going fine. Like, I think right now I'm doing a good job of giving that same energy to all the projects that I'm doing. But my worry is that maybe down the line when things get a lot busier, maybe I'm not able to do that, and I'm really trying to combat that, and I'm trying to make out schedules so I can, divide my time accordingly. But that's just a fear that kind of runs through my head at the moment. But yeah, that's how things are going for me right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I think I'll be able to handle it. Hopefully I'll be able to get more consistent videos coming out once I I get back into the swing of things. But what's going on with you people? I'd love to hear what you're going through, whether you're back on campus, you're not back at college, you have a job, whatever. Let me know what's going on with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you have not already, make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. That would be kind of cool if I hit 5,000 subscribers, so go ahead and subscribe if you have not already. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time.
Eric Warren fence the golden child, we going up. How many subscribers, but enough, never enough. We can show you how to stunt, climb the ladder, so my vision to the heaven up above. Let me show you how to stack when I'm talking way back when. Flip the script and take the hate with a grain of sand.